made up amongst these rappers today, but I ain't talked to Kyle. Had the best class. I served my next door neighbor, my auntie and stepdad. On the first of the month, I started with a fresh hat. Then gave all my feet.
Good morning, family. It is Monday, January 5th, 6:45 a.m. We are gonna start getting ready. We're gonna head out a couple cities over and go take an exam for the school district. What I found out is that even though I had a different name, I did some more research. It turns out it's the same thing as being a student data technician. So it's the same thing, maybe just a little more work. We want to show up between like 8:30, 8:45. So I'm going to have to leave in about 45 minutes. So I'm going to start getting ready. Let's get it. So we made it. We're right outside the building. We're going to take a 70 multiple choice exam. And then afterwards, we're going to take a 5-minute typing test. We're ready to go. Let's get it. I'm a little nervous again, but this is the first exam. Let's go. We'll check in afterwards. Man, when I tell you that test was tough. And you know what? It was so similar to the one I had taken last week in the other video. But this one, I felt maybe it was just shorter. The time that they gave us was a lot shorter, so I felt so much more rushed. And the lady next to me just kept coughing like extremely loud. I wasn't able to focus. The light was extremely bright. It was right in my face. I don't know, it was just everything was kind of throwing me off. I was so tired. I didn't even really sleep well last night, and I just couldn't concentrate. So I don't know if it was that or if it was the time that just added some pressure. I was rushing in the last questions. Just kept seeing that timer go down. Luckily, the last couple, maybe 8 questions were all Excel questions. I'm like, all right, let's get it. So the last couple, I only had like maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and they were all Excel questions. So I just knocked them out really quickly. But we're done. The good thing is, as long as you pass this exam, then you move into the interviews. Like I said, put me in front of them, and this job is mine. Hopefully we pass. It was really, really similar to the other test I took last week. There's a fly in here. I think we should pass. They said they'll send us a letter today, I think. I'm gonna stop by since I'm pretty close to my cousin's house. Then afterwards, I'm gonna head back to across town because we gotta be there for the other exam we have at 1 p.m. Right now it's 10:22. We went in to take the exam at 9, so it took us about an hour and 20 minutes to get through the whole thing.
Go before I even started. Road to riches, scenic blossom, roses at my feet. I need my flowers while I'm breathing, partner. Building for the future, the way we work and we can see the garden. Soil rich from blood and tears we shed, but we gon' reach the target. Steady like.
On our way to the second exam. Let's go. This is the one we were studying for. The one earlier, it was almost the exact same thing as this one that I'm about to go take.
That New York state of mind. Part 3. What's this shit? The 20th joint? This is like, yeah, I can't even.
All right, we made it, baby. Exam number 2. Let's get it. So I didn't get a chance to explain earlier. I got home after the exam, and I just needed a minute. I got myself together. I laid down. I took a shower. Yeah, I think we failed the second test. It wasn't that, I didn't know what I was doing. It's just that when we first got started, they gave us the instructions, and we were reading through them, and they weren't like clearly written out. It was very, very confusing the way they written the instructions out and what they wanted to do with the worksheet. I started working on it, and then when I got to the last task, they asked us to bring all the information together. Things just weren't adding up at the end. I had to go back and reread the instructions to see because clearly there was something wrong. So I had to see what it was. So I finally figured it out. But by the time I realized it, I had like maybe 3 minutes left, and it just wasn't enough time. I did as much as I could. There was 4 tasks in total that they wanted us to do. I completed 3 of them correctly, I believe. And the last one, I wasn't able to because I had ran out of time. I think maybe everyone got caught off guard the same way. I'm kind of hoping for it. Maybe everyone got a similar grade. So they said they're going to let us know either Thursday or Friday if we pass the test. And if so, then we'll move on to the interviews. So we just got to wait on that. But as far as the first exam that I took in the morning, a little while after I had gotten home, I checked my emails and it looks like we passed the test. So we moved on to the interviews, and I got it scheduled for this Friday coming up. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow, I do have an exam for another position at another school district. It pays well. It's a part-time, and it's just not enough right now. So I don't even think I'm gonna go tomorrow in the morning. I think I'm just gonna stay in, wake up early, and start applying for other positions there, seeing if I can get a city job too, and also getting ready for the interview on Friday. But man, it was a crazy day today. Really tired me out. Like I said, I didn't get much sleep last night. We prepared for a whole week for this Excel exam, and we just completely failed it. I think, we'll end up finding out. It just didn't go the way we were planning for it to go. But you know what? We're on God's time. They say you ever want to make God laugh, you tell him your plan, right? So although I thought maybe the second exam was going to be the position that we land, again, that was my plan. Maybe God's laughing a little bit. He says, no, I got something else for you. But that's a wrap on today. I'm still exhausted. I still need to get some sleep. But we'll pick this up tomorrow, Tuesday morning. This thing going crazy over here. Just steaming. Look. Good morning, everybody. Getting ready to head out in about 30 minutes. We're going to head a couple cities over. We're going to take another exam. This is going to be for the school district again. We're going to be taking two. So there's one right after the other, back to back. It's kind of funny the way they scheduled it, but they put one right after the other. So I'm hoping I finish the first one early enough so I can make it to the second one. It's going to be in the same building. I got to be honest, this process of me trying to get a job with the school district lasted longer than I thought. So this is kind of turning into just me finding a job at the school district instead of it being more focused on me becoming a cloud engineer, which, trust me, we will get back to. It's just right now, we just got to get our foot in the door at the school district. Right now, out of all three, if you guys remember, we were trying to get into the city, the hospitals, and the school district. Out of all three, the school district is probably the easiest. That's the only one that they responded back to me on. They're the only ones where I got to take some exams. They're the only ones where I'm going to have some interviews. The other two, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And just really quickly, the ones that I'm going to go take the exams for, it's going to be a secretary position, which I'm not used to. And then the other one's going to be an accounting assistant. I want to have a little bit of a background on. Wish me luck, guys. We're going to hit the road in a bit. Just leaving the testing right now. I feel like I did great. 2 tests in 2 hours? The lady at HR was looking at me crazy, like, how are you taking 2 tests? All right, man. Feeling good. And I feel like I passed both those tests. And you know what? I'm starting to see the similarities between all the tests. So this is good practice. Look, let's say I don't get any of these. At least for the next time I come take some tests, I know exactly what to expect. Yeah, you see a lot of the same questions. For anyone taking tests, looking to also get in the school district, maybe he's kind of going to follow the same game plan that I have. You're going to see a lot of the same questions on these tests. And if any of you are planning on getting a job at the school district, let me know how it's going for you. Let me know what positions you're applying for, anything that you think might help. We're going to head home right now. We're going to go catch this Arsenal game. For those that don't know, I'm a big Arsenal fan. And so we're going to go watch the game against Liverpool right now. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I did have an interview lined up for today. It's going to be at 5. It's 4:14 right now, so I'm on my way there. This is going to be back into sales. So I'm thinking this interview is going to go great. If you guys remember a couple of videos ago, I actually interviewed for a sales job, again, going right back in the same industry, which was debt settlement. And they gave me the job. It just... a couple days later, they sent me an email saying that they retracted the whole hiring for the group that they had done that week. I was driving by my church. So we never started there, but I saw this job posting for a really great debt settlement company not too far away from here. It's literally around the corner from where my old job used to be. I've heard a lot of great things about this place. They actually had set up an interview a couple of weeks ago, but I had accepted that first job, the one we're supposed to start January 5th. Well, I canceled the interview over here and I never showed up. I gave them a call back a couple of days ago and asked if they were still hiring. Luckily they were. We set up an interview and that's where I'm going to now. It's a later interview. I've never been to an interview at 5 p.m. before. Most of the office is probably going to be gone. So it's just probably me and this hiring manager and maybe somebody from HR. If they hire me here, I'm going to take it. They said we wouldn't start until January 26th. So it leaves me a couple weeks. And in the meantime, I'm going to be taking those exams and hoping to hear back from the school districts. If they don't, well, then I'll end up going over here. If they do hit me back from the school districts, well, then, we'll take those. First, we got to get hired over here, but I got a good feeling about this. It's exactly what I used to do for a living. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on our way to the first interview ever at a school district. This is gonna be for the role of a register, which is the same as a student data technician. We're on our way now. Just finished rehearsing. We'll get there in a couple minutes. I'm not nervous because yesterday we had a really good interview that was some great prep work for this one. I have the 3 most important questions I feel like they're gonna ask me ready to go. I got them in my back pocket. As soon as they ask them, I am firing away. We'll check in afterwards.
Before this rap shit got turned, I really been on missions. That's why anywhere on earth I blend in with the killers. Still remember that first hit, I blew it 3206. Back and forth, now this bitch lit. I had to graduate to a state.
All right, so let me give a little game to anybody who's maybe taking the same route I'm taking. You know, maybe you want to get a job at a school district and then become the cloud engineer there. Let me just give you all some game, okay? I just left this interview right now and I prepped for 3 specific questions that are so common in an interview. I did not receive any one of those questions. They asked me 10 simple questions and they were mostly about scenarios. And if I'm being honest, I'm a little underwhelmed and I was expecting so much more in this interview. It was a panel of 3 people and it did not last long at all. I think maybe the whole thing lasted 10 minutes. I mean, which isn't, you know, too uncommon, I guess, but for a school district, I was just expecting a little bit more. Overall, how good do I think it went? I feel like I did exceptional there. I feel I crushed it. They said they're gonna let me know within a week. That's it. That's a wrap, man, on that one. Got that out the way. That's a good position, I'm not gonna lie. But I have an interview coming up that is closer by like about half the distance that this place is, and it pays more. So hopefully, that's the one I'm really aiming for. That's the one I really want. Hopefully we can get that. But, you know, if we get this one here that we're just leaving, then that's okay too. It's just a farther of a drive and, you know, I don't make as much. That's all right. Again, we're not going to be here very long. Don't tell them that. You know, we're going to get certified and start moving into the IT department. So that's okay. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap. 2 days ago on Thursday, we took 2 exams. The first one was for a secretary position, and the one right after it was for an accounting assistant. Okay, now it was for the same school district, so I took them at the same place. Right after that, I went back home, got myself together, and I had an interview later on that day at 5. This was going right back into sales. It was not for the school district. It was doing the exact same thing I used to do before. Now, this company here, a really well-known company. A lot of people talk about it. You'll see some videos of them online. It's supposed to be one of the better companies in the area. Now, I went to the interview. In the interview, it was really interesting. The office was amazing. It was so modern. They had the lights off. They had like some glow-in-the-dark lights. They were playing house music and rap, and it was bumping. Now, in the lounge area, it was crazy. There was some dude getting a fade in there from a barber in a little small private room. I've heard of these places before, but I've never actually been there. It was so nice. Now, as far as the interview, there was 5 of us getting interviewed. There was 3 managers interviewing us. Out of all 5 of us, I was the only one where they did some role play with, you know, where I had to sell. We did really good. I gave him my best shot. The next day on Friday, I got the official offer letter. Just like I said I was going to do, I accepted it. That starting date is going to be on the 19th. Originally, it was on the 26th, which would have gave me 2 weeks. Now it's going to be on the 19th, so they moved it up. I really only have a week and a half from today. So that doesn't leave me a lot of time. I'm hoping to get a position at the school district before I have to start there. Because once I do, it's going to be a full-time position. It's going to be really hard to show up to any exams or any interviews. So hopefully we can land something by then. And on Friday morning, we had our first official interview for the school district. It was about an hour away. The interview went really well. So we're just waiting to hear back from them. They said they're going to let me know sometime next week. By the time the next video is up, I'll be talking about whether if I got employed there or not. And also, for those 2 exams that I took for the secretary position and the accounting assistant, I did pass those tests. So they invited me in for an interview, but they just haven't scheduled those yet. So we're waiting to hear back on that. So tonight, I'm just going to stay in. I'm not going to go out. I don't really have any plans. There's a couple fights that are on a little later tonight. I'll put those on. Other than that, we're going to stay in, send out a couple more job applications, and also do a little bit of editing for this video. Happy Sunday, everybody. That's a wrap on this week's video. Just got back from church not too long ago. I'm going to edit this video for you guys and then upload it. By the time the next video drops, we'll see if we're officially employed with the school district. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Love y'all.